Hey everyone, alright, another video. So, I have a couple of other videos for like a tradecraft kind of series of videos talking about different things like signaling, fire starting, emergency water, you know, things like that, apart from other videos that I've been doing with that kind of stuff. But here's some other items and some options of items that I would recommend to make sure that you have. It's just some common sense stuff, but you know, if you're not thinking about it or you don't have certain experiences, you might miss these things. But inexpensive, and you can get a bunch of them. Chemlights, okay? Illumination options for mostly, you know, like inside your tent or your little shelter, whatever it is, your op center. When the power goes out, whatever it is. These are 12-hour chem lights. Usually they start dimming out after about 6 to 8 hours, but they will stay glowing for 12 hours. So I recommend those, and I recommend a color like yellow or green or red. Those are the three colors that I would recommend. You can also get infrared versions, not like you're really going to need those, because I mean, not a lot of people are going to be running IR specifically at night and things like that. Those aren't really necessary, besides for certain very special applications. Standard chem lights, highly recommend, okay? Yellow is the best, or most preferred, and then green and red after that. Yellow because it keeps, it actually... and I mean, they glow really nice and everything. They have a good, I guess, hue to them or whatever. And they're pretty bright. But the nice thing is they don't flood things out as much as other colors do in the light spectrum when it comes to chem lights, okay? When it comes to flashlight, you know, light filters and things like that, that's a different story. With chem lights, these aren't as bad. And again, with chem lights, you really should only be using them inside of your shelter kind of thing, or in your house and things like that, unless it requires that you need to use chem lights on your kit for nighttime movements or whatever it is, training purposes. But I recommend yellow. Another thing, bungee cords, okay? Bungees. 550 cord is essential, okay? Always have multiple lengths of 550 cord, but having some bungees is really good, okay? Especially when having to fasten a little bit larger things, like to the outside of your ruck and things like that. Like in winter here, you know, even with good configuration and packing down of sleep system and things like that, you know, still have to secure it to the outside of my ruck to keep room on the inside for other essential items that need to be kept inside my ruck and things like that. Bungees are extremely useful to help keep things secured and things like that. You should always have a couple of bungees. Also goes for smaller bungees for your helmet if you're going to do certain kinds of setups on your helmets. I go with a little more old school setup on my helmet, so I don't need a bungee in that regard. Just a securing lanyard for my nods with my helmet in case it fall off of the rhino mount. But bungees otherwise than that for securing stuff to your ruck and using for shelter applications and things like that inside your tack center, whatever it is. Really good to have. Kind of making a little bit of a paradigm shift here and going from more tactical and operational needs, camping needs, and things like that. And I mean, these are good for camping too. I'm just going to talk about, and I've showed these knives before, two different kinds of knives. This one is a necklace knife, okay? So it's a smaller knife. Give me a second here. Okay, smaller knife. This is a good little knife though. This is an M-Tech one, older M-Tech necklace knife. There's a bunch of different makers for necklace knives out there. It's not a big blade. This is a good emergency blade, a good CCW blade. Obviously, you're going to wear it on a necklace and have it under your shirt and things like that. You'd be good to go. It's a good little thing to have right here as an option. The other is certain kinds of fixed knives. Notice the setup on this. This has the same kind of bracket like 1113 holsters for tourniquets. The company 1113, a very similar kind of bracket for putting on your belt. So kind of an EDC fixed blade option for belt carrying. I talked about this knife before fairly extensively. This is a D2 steel, which is excellent steel. This is a D2 steel knife. There are no other markings on it though, so I don't know who made it. But my buddy gave me this a while ago, and I really like it. Double edge, serration on one side, full tang. Fantastic little fighting knife right here. Look at this thing. Loop there for lanyard if you need it, whatever. It's got open eyelets here so you can loop otherwise or whatever you need to do. I really like this thing. It's really sweet and a really good option as a fixed blade CCW knife. Again, there's many kinds of options of that out on the market, so just kind of look around. I don't know who made that one, so I can't tell you the manufacturer on that one. But it's something that I use interchangeably and is a good secondary knife to have for various kinds of situations. Whether it is everyday carry or if you're taking something like this out to the field or whatever, or just as a backup knife or whatever it is. So yeah, just some stuff to talk about and some options for you and things to just kind of consider about when you're choosing different things. I'm not going to tell you what you need, but I'm going to give you options that you can take into consideration. So, Chemlights, that I do recommend yellow. Just out of experience and application and everything, they work the best. Bungees, have your bungees. Apart from 550 cord, have bungees. And then a couple of options for alternative application knives. For everyday carry, for survival, for camping, hunting, tactical operations, whatever it is. You got some options. And again, I'm gonna ask everyone to go back and look at some of my older videos in the tradecraft / bushcraft kind of series of videos that I did, talking about different iotas of things, because I talk about cooking stuff, fire starting. I talk about signaling and emergency stuff. I talk about PPE a little bit, you know, gloves and things like that, apart from my other glove video. Just all kinds of stuff. So, go back and look at those too. Yeah, here's some other things to kind of look at, gauge, consider, talk about, whatever it is. So, there you go. Metal up!